Roxy, and today we're gonna talk about the US school system versus the Italian school system. So if you missed my previous episode, I just wanna reiterate that in this series I'm just talking about my experience and the differences and similarities I noticed living in the US and living in Italy. I'm not saying that one country is better than the other in general. I'm just talking about the differences, and then based on your ideas, based on your lifestyle, and based on your preferences, you can prefer one thing or the other, but I am not saying that one country is better than the other. I hope it's clear. Now let's talk about school. So I studied English here in California, and I did elementary school, middle school, and high school in Italy. So I'm gonna talk about the differences I noticed, and I also have an Italian subscriber that is doing high school here in America in another state. So I wanna share her experience too to find more similarities and differences, okay? So let's start with the stuff I noticed. First of all, costs. Okay, so I'm sure you heard that the Italian school system is free. And I know that here in America, elementary school, middle school, and high school, of course, if you go to a public school, is free. Of course, there are private schools. If you want to go there, you pay tuition and whatever. But then, going to university and going to college in Italy, it's so much cheaper than here in America. I don't remember exactly how much it was going to university in Italy. I'm gonna find out and put a number here. It is based on your income, but I think it was something like from $1,000 a year to $5,000 a year, something like that. Well, here in America, whoa, okay, so like $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, even $20,000 a year. It's a lot of money. And I hear a lot of people graduating from college or university and being in debt because all this money, because study here is so expensive. Well, that is not something you hear in Italy at all, because it's based on your income. Another thing is subjects. I feel that in Italy we study more stuff. So in Italy, in certain high schools, you still have to study Latin, Greek, and we have so many subjects, and you cannot choose what subjects. So when I play, you know, Trivial, what's the name of that game? Trivial? A lot of stuff there, I remember studying it in Italy. So I feel we study more stuff, I think. And also, I think tests in Italy are a little bit harder. And now we're gonna talk about tests. And in fact, let's talk about tests. So when I study here, most of the tests were like multiple choice. And yeah, sometimes there is an open question at the end, but it's always written stuff. Yes, sometimes you have a project or you have a presentation, but the test itself is always written. Well, in Italy, your grade is based on your written tests, and most of the times it's all open questions, and half of your grade is interrogazioni, so it's like spoken test. So you go up to the professor, and in front of everybody, the professor quizzes you, and you have to answer. And it's very nerve-wracking. You cannot cheat, and if you have public speaking problems, you're gonna get over it by the time you are in high school, because it's like that from elementary school to forever. Even in university, you have those. To pass a subject, you have to pass those. Another difference is that in Italy, everybody has a pencil case. While when I studied here, I think somebody was telling me that most Americans, they just put the pen or the pencil in the backpack and that's it. They don't have a pencil case. Also, grades. So here in America, I think you guys have 0 to 100 or like letters, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, etc. While in Italy, we have like words, for example, non-sufficient, sufficient, good, excellent, etc. And then we have grades 0 to 10, okay? So if you do a test, 10 is excellent and under 5, you're failing. And also, okay, so is it grades that or score? I don't know. But the school grades are also different. So I noticed that here there is first grade, second grade, etc. But in Italy we have 5 years of elementary school and then 3 years of middle school. So when you're in middle school, you say, I'm in first year of middle school, I'm in second year of middle school, I'm in third year of middle school. It's not like 6th grade, 7th grade, etc. And then we have 5 years of high school. So we finish high school when we are 18. And you cannot graduate earlier. You have to finish and you have to study whatever they tell you to study. And also, when I studied in Italy, I don't know if it's still the same because they're changing stuff around, but when I was studying in Italy, you have a national exam when you finish elementary school, and if you don't pass, if you don't graduate elementary school, you cannot go to middle school. Then you have another exam at the end of middle school, and then you have another exam at the end of high school, and if you pass that national exam, then you graduate. If you don't, you have to do again the 5th year of high school. Okay, all the Italians the same day from all the regions, from all the cities of Italy, they will have the national exams the same days. So usually there are 3 days of written exams and then 1 day of spoken exam. You know what I mean. You have a presentation and then the teachers quiz you again. If you pass that exam, then you graduate. If you don't, you have to do it again. Fantastic. Other stuff that I noticed. So first of all, in Italy we don't have clubs or dances. No homecoming, no dancing in school. In Italy, it's more like you go to school to study and that's it. It's not to socialize, to join clubs or to dance. And so in Italy it's more like professional setting, while in America I think socializing is an important aspect. Also, teachers in Italy, you have to refer to them by their last name and they have to refer to you with your last name. And sometimes even classmates, they start calling each other by the last name because I don't know, we just do it. While here in America, the teachers would call us with our first name and they also wanted us to call them by their first name. So it's more like a friendlier environment, I think. And the last thing are debates. Oh my gosh, I loved debate class here in the United States. In Italy we don't have that, but I think they're super interesting because, well, they give you a topic, okay? So the class is usually divided in 2 groups, then they give you a topic and then they also assign to you the side you're in. So you don't choose it, so you might have to debate and try to make a side win that you don't believe in. Like for example, one time we talked about uniforms, I think, in school, and I was in the group that was in favor of the uniforms, and I have to convince everybody and the teacher that I really believe uniforms are better. And I think it's super interesting and it's a super cool exercise because you have to think what they're gonna say and prepare a counter argument. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. And now let's see what my viewer says about high school in the United States compared to high school in Italy. Okay, so she is in Kansas, so very different from California. I live in California and I studied here. So she's saying the structure of the school is newer, even if my school is smaller. This is high school, by the way. You can choose the subjects you want to study and the level, even though some subjects are mandatory. Okay, so this is different because in Italy, after middle school, you have to choose your high school, okay? So there are different types of high school. There is the scientific high school, art, linguistic, literature, okay? So when you're 13 years old, you have to decide your life and you have to go to a certain high school. All the people in that high school will have to study the same subjects. Everybody is studying the same level of math, Latin, or whatever, okay? And to go on, to pass each year, you have to pass that level, okay? So, yes, a person who studies in the scientific high school will have different subjects than a person that is studying in the artistic high school, but inside the high school, everybody's studying the same amount of hours, the same level, okay? You don't pick and choose. Every day, you have the same subjects in the same order. While in Italy we have a weekly program. True. The professors have their own classroom and they decorate it how they want. So in the American high school, you go to the teacher's classroom, while in Italy, you stay in your class and the teachers rotate. The gym and the sport areas are very advanced. Usually, Italian high schools, they only have one gym and that's it. Maybe they have an outdoor soccer field or something, but yeah, they don't have the track area, the football field, the baseball field and all that stuff. Teachers are very friendly and they call you by your first name. Yes, that's what I noticed too. Every school have their own mascot and colors. Yes, Italy doesn't have that. Also, Italy doesn't have lockers. Most American teenagers have a job. We will talk about this in another episode. Americans don't care how you're dressing. We will talk about this in another episode. You can eat or have a snack during class. And you can check your phone if you are on break. Yes, in Italy, you cannot eat in class or drink in class or check your phone. Well, if the teacher is not in the class, you can check your phone, but you cannot eat. We have eating breaks of like 10 or 15 minutes. We have one like around 10 or 11, and then there is lunchtime, and that's it. And usually classes are very back to back because we don't have to change class. The teachers are the ones rotating, right? So we don't have breaks between subjects. We only have that eating break in the middle of the morning and then we have lunch break. That's it. And that's it. I hope you guys found this video helpful and interesting. Let me know how was your school experience. I want to learn more about your country or your experience. Let me know also what other subjects, what other topics you want me to talk about in this series, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Mwah!